Okay, so welcome to FinTech Insider. I'm here with Kathryn Petralia. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you so much for being here and for coming to our live show last night. I know Sam heckled you quite a lot.
That was all right. It was really interesting. I loved the forum. It was cool and really well attended.
It was a really cool stage. 360 stage, lots of all our graphics up on the big screen, looked great. So we were talking during the live show that Rob was on and you were in the audience, even though they dragged you into the show a little bit, about how you've just acquired Acorn, is that right? Or Orchard, sorry, my bad.
It's all vegetable related.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Kabbage and apples and orchards and all of that. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that and what that means for Kabbage as a business?
Sure thing. So Orchard we're very excited about. We were already working with Orchard as a customer of theirs. And so we were excited about the technology that they had developed for managing assets that are being reported to investors. So we securitize our receivables. So that technology was really helpful to us, and we were excited to get full access to that as part of the transaction. But honestly, they have a ton of great people. So the team of data and software engineers that are part of that transaction are what I'm most excited about, because I think they're really going to help take us to another level when it comes to our analytics and software development. So that was really important to us.
And how does your relationship change now from being a customer to actually acquiring them? Does that make a difference?
It is an interesting transition, I think, but I think both teams are really excited about the work that we're all going to be doing. Pretty quickly, I think we've been able to get everybody on the same page as far as what our mandate is and what our goals are.
Okay, and so what difference is that going to make to your offering for small businesses and that sort of thing with all the additional data that you're going to gain?
Well, so I think what we're going to be able to do is mine the data we already have much more efficiently. So we have so much information about our customers that we'd love to be able to get back to them in ways that are actionable and meaningful. And so that team, I think, is really going to be able to help us delve deeper into the trove of data that we already possess.
Awesome. So it's all about making life easier and better for small businesses. I know that you guys are a huge champion of that. It seems to be a big trend in the UK that's the way things are going. A lot of people are making offerings towards moving into the small business space, but not so much in America. Are you guys kind of paving the way for that wave to come?
Well, I think we were certainly an early actor in the space, and there have been a lot of other companies that have come, some have gone subsequent to that. I think small business is still a big focus for a variety of reasons, but I think everyone really understands the value of access to capital. But I think the difference is a lot of large institutions never really considered the long tail of the 28 million small businesses in the US that are under 10 employees and generating less than $5 million in revenue and are seeking less than $250,000 in capital. That population has always existed in the US, but it's simply never been served. And so now technology is enabling us to get access to those customers in a cost-effective way, and those folks are responsible for tons and tons of job growth. There's a great study that some folks in our space, On Deck We Love did, that they found that, or identified that every $1 billion of working capital that's deployed to small businesses generates 22,000 new jobs. So Kabbage has deployed close to $5 billion in capital, so over 100,000 jobs have been created in the US because of the capital that we've deployed. I'm really, really proud of that and excited about that.
That's a really cool stat.
It is.
And it must feel good, right? That you're making a difference with what you're doing.
It really does, and we hear it from our customers every day.
Great. And then so can we talk about the other story that came out this week about how you guys are trying to, in inverted commas, compete with PayPal and move into payment processing. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So our goal is to be at the center of our customers' work lives, so to speak. We've been servicing them with working capital for the last 8 years. And now what we see is an opportunity to help them with cash flow, managing their cash flow. That doesn't just include borrowing, but it also includes online banking, and it includes payment processing and accounts payable, accounts receivable. So we believe that building that web of cash flow management around our customers is just going to make their lives easier, and they can focus on the things about which they're passionate, like running their business, and not dealing with making sure that they're making payroll and that they understand the transactions that they processed the day before, and do they have enough cash for the inventory purchase they want to make next week.
Okay, so it's taking some of the stress out of it and allowing them to get on with their job, essentially.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so some might say it's moving away from like your kind of core business model, which was the lending, but is this actually just an addition to it, a different way to help people?
We're just drawing a circle around it, and that's what we've done from the very beginning. We started doing a tiny little thing, making loans to eBay sellers, and we just keep drawing circles around that business, and it continues to grow and serve more and more customers in more meaningful ways.
Okay, hey, I didn't know that origin story. So you just started off with eBay sellers only?
We did, and now that represents, I don't know, like 5% of our customers. So we still do more work with eBay businesses than we did 5 years ago, but it simply represents a much smaller percentage of our customer population.
Why did you pick them, out of interest?
It's a really important part of our story, actually. I'm glad you asked. My co-founder Rob had the idea based on an eBay API that he had been exposed to, and he thought, wow, there's lots of really rich seller and transaction level data here. I wonder if you could use this to create an automated small business loan. And he called me up, and my background is in what you would now call FinTech, but particularly around lending. And I had been in consumer lending, so it didn't occur to me you wouldn't automate a small business loan. I was like, sure, credit cards have been automated since the 90s. Why wouldn't you automate that? So that's how we got our start. We learned afterwards, really, ignorance on our part, that every other business lender on the planet was a really manual process. So we had a unique opportunity to lead the charge when it came to technology and automation and data to serve this population that had been previously unserved.
Okay, and you didn't really realize at the time that you were leading a charge, you thought?
We had no idea. Yeah, exactly. If somebody would have realized how hard it was going to be, we might have been like, I don't know.
Can I ask where the name Kabbage came from and whose idea that was?
So we actually had an early co-founder or advisor. His name is Nick Steele, and he had the idea for Kabbage. We spent many nights at many bars trying to come up with a name. It's really hard to do, and we were looking for something that meant money. So what many people don't know is that Kabbage with a C is a Depression-era term for a euphemism for cash. If you Google Kabbage with a C, the second definition, the first is a vegetable, the second is money. So we picked Kabbage with a K over Kabbage with a C because Kabbage with a C was going to be $75,000 and Kabbage with a K was $1,200, and we didn't have any money, so we went with that one. And it stuck. But what's so funny is we just recently bought CabbageWithAC.com.
Really?
Yep, we did.
So you've got both?
Yeah, because for search purposes, a lot of people go to Kabbage.com with a C, and now they'll find us.
Great. And can we address finally, just as the last question, Mr. Pickles?
Yeah, he's got a very nice tushy. I've just been,
So for anyone listening on audio and not watching any video, Kathryn is now petting our mascot, Mr. Pickles.
How did you get to have a bacon-producing mascot?
It's entirely Sam's fault.
That does not surprise me.
Kathryn, thank you so much for joining us on FinTech Insider.